Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Sammy, and I will be reviewing one of my most favorite books of all time, Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. This book is amazing. I love it so very much. She also wrote the Jack the Ripper Tales, which is another great story. But if you're going into this book, like so many of my friends have gone into this book, thinking it is a romance, this one is not it. This story starts it all. This is your introduction into the series. The other two books are where you get your spice. This is not the one where you get your spice. This book is all about witches, magic, demons, hell, princes. You get it all. You really do. This is a story about two twin girls that are witches. Their names are Amelia and Victoria. Now, Victoria is she's your girl that loves danger. She'll do anything, go anywhere. It's really nothing to her. She loves to prank her sister and everything. And then Amelia is the sweetheart. She's the one that cooks in the kitchen. She's the one that does everything that her family tells her to do. She's the all-around good sister. But it all starts when they're little. Now they have a grandmother, and their grandmother gave them these necklaces. These necklaces, they call them their cornicellos. It's supposed to be amulets that keep them safe from demons that her grandmother has told her about. The Malvagi. Now the Malvagi are actually the princes of hell. And she tells them to be on a watch because they're always looking out for people to take back with them, people to murder. They'll kiss you and you'll die. Well, of course, Victoria, being Victoria that young, she decided to take off her amulet and convince her sister to take off her amulet. And they started developing powers that they weren't supposed to be able to develop. Well, then there is about a 10-year time jump, and now they're grown. Amelia works in the family restaurant, seeing Vine with her parents and grandmother, while Victoria's just out and about doing what she does. So one day, Victoria comes to her sister and starts playing pranks on her, and then goes missing. Come to find out, she was brutally murdered and her heart was taken. Of course, Amelia is heartbroken, distraught, completely beside herself. It's her twin. It's her other half. It's the person that she could go to for anything, and she is no longer with her, and that has destroyed her. And of course, what happens when you have a scorned woman? We want revenge. And that's exactly what happens. She goes on a hunt, trying to figure out anything she possibly can. She comes across a book that her sister has, and somehow, some way, it is magically locked. So she goes and confronts her friend and is asking if she can possibly get it unlocked for her, since she is a witch herself. And they're like, it's too strong of magic. So of course, she does the one stupid thing that she could possibly do. She decides to summon a demon. So she goes to the monastery where her sister was murdered to summon this demon. She puts everything out. She gets ready. Then she starts being like, maybe I shouldn't do this. It's dark magic, black magic. I have been warned against this my whole life. But she does it anyway, of course. She summons a demon, or so she thinks. The demon she summons is none other than Wrath, the Prince of Hell himself. And he hates her. Hates her, despises her. It's pretty much mutual, because of course she thinks that this is the man that killed her sister. So as soon as he is summoned, she's immediately trying to murder this man. And he is just like beside himself. Like, how dare you summon me? You are worthless. You're a witch. You're beneath me. But things go worse. They truly do. After, of course, she summons Wrath. Apparently, she did the spell wrong in Italian. She did it completely wrong, and they are somehow bonded. He can't go anywhere. He can't do anything. He has to stay put. And she's like, I'm not taking you out of the circle. So she goes about her merry way. And of course, everyone thought the Malvagi could not leave hell anymore, that they were somehow trapped there. But of course, she comes across another one. Except this time, this one knows a little bit more about her than what it's leading on. We don't really know what it is, the secret that he knows about her, but she comes across Greed, which is another one of the princes of hell. And he basically tries to off her entire family. He breaks into Sea and Vine, which is the restaurant, and comes across the grandmother and immediately recognizes her. He knows exactly who she is. We don't know how, we don't know why, but he does. He knows exactly who she is. And he tries to kill her. Of course, Amelia is just beside herself. She just lost her twin. Now she could possibly lose her grandmother. Her mother and father, which you don't know anything about ever in the book, they're just there, are completely beside themselves. And she goes back to Wrath, and he is just like, of course you run into trouble. You're trouble with the capital T. You know, if you want my protection, you're going to have to earn it. You're going to have to do things for me. You're going to have to, you know, help me help you. And she's like, okay, what do you need help with? And he's like, well, witches are dying. She's like, when did this happen? Why are witches dying? What can I do? How can I help? And all that. So apparently, the devil is trapped. And the only way he can get out is with the bride. Now, she is like, okay, so how does this go about? What do we do? Nobody knows. But they start looking around, at this point they're detectives. They're together as being detectives, and they're just trying to figure out how and why her sister died. And with doing that, it's supposed to break the other investigation of why witches are dying. They're thinking that the two are connected somehow, which they are, but we don't figure that out yet. So the book continues, and there's really no romance, no spice, nothing in this book. It's basically all detective work. You don't get the spice and the romance until book 2 and 3. So this is all just a setup. It's a great setup. It's a lovely setup, and I love it, but it's really just a setup. So right before the book ends, Wrath tells her that he wants to take her back to hell as the wife to the devil. And she tells him no 1,000 million times. It's ridiculous how many times. And then all of a sudden she changes her mind. In her mind, she says, wait, if I go with him, I can figure out more about my sister's murderer. I can pretty much pick the demon's brains, basically. She wants to be able to figure out who killed her sister and take revenge, no matter, even if it means going to hell herself. She will go to that length to find her sister's murderer. That's where the book ends. And it is great. The book is amazing. It sets you up in such a way that you cannot wait to read the second book. It basically is just like, here's a plate of cookies. Now let me go get you some milk. That is basically what this book does. It sets you up so nicely. I gave this book 5 stars. I loved it. I will read it again and again and again. I've probably read it 6 times now. I love this book. Spice, there is none, but that's okay because book 2 and 3 make up for it. It really does. I love this book. I hope that y'all read it and love it as much as I did. Please like, subscribe, come back and see me. I'll be doing lots of book reviews. I also do box openings. Bye, guys.